I got nervous. I realized that I didn't change the font on my notes to 18 point. And I was like, well, fuck, I got made fun of for clicking around last time. Hi. Welcome to the Pinfall podcast. Happy Monday. Happy vaguely decent episode of Raw Day.
Yeah.
In my humblest opinions.
Yeah, definitely. I think this was one of the best ones lately.
Yeah, I was really actually kind of impressed. And pleased. There we go. And it seems like it's kind of a general consensus. Why do I feel like I keep moving this over like 1 inch and suddenly like, it seems like a lot of people really enjoyed tonight's episode, like across the board.
Yeah.
Which is a first for Raw.
Especially a post pay-per-view Raw.
Yeah, I know. It really wasn't promo heavy either.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was the second half.
We had 8 matches.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Well.
But before we get into the news, would you like to spin the wheel?
Spin the wheel for me while I go get a regular person seltzer.
All right.
I can hear you.
So for those who are new to the channel, we have a wheel that we like to spin. It has punishments, but it also has a safe spot. We spin it at the start of the news segment, the matches and promo segment, in the middle of the episode, and before the bests of the night. So there are 4 total spins. And so, without further ado, let's get Liz's spin out of the way. And here, oh shit. Okay, nobody could see it. Ooh, now it's hard to read for everyone watching, but it's no opinion. Best of the night. Now, the no opinion spot is a little special because it means your opinion does not matter for the bests of the night. However, if I were to also get the no opinion spot, then they would cancel each other out until someone spins it again. So let's do my spin.
No one has gotten no opinion twice, so
I just got it, so it's canceled out.
Oh, wow. Wow. You know why that happened? Is because we didn't get that at all Friday.
Yeah.
So.
It just barely made it into the section 2. Just barely. Yeah, Morgan's missed. It is gimmicked. Alright, so shall we jump into the news?
I was thinking, I was like, well, I wonder if we'll have people from last night on, like, in the chat tonight. And I was like, I kind of almost hope not, because I'm wearing the same fucking shirt I wore last night.
We had a big showing last night. We had 28 total people come in. Oh, I heard that.
That wasn't very friendly.
Yeah, that was
Why am I getting yelled at? That was a mean yell. Oh, burring at me. My God. You think she runs the place. All right, yeah, news?
Yeah, news.
Honestly, we're lucky that after last night, I took my fucking makeup off.
Yeah.
My ass was trashed. I did not expect that. Because I went in, and maybe this is why, I went into the podcast like 3 hard seltzers in, and I was like, I feel nothing.
And then you were still drinking past what you needed to for the predictions.
I can go through more than 2 hard seltzers in one night. And frankly, with Royal Rumble. Hello. Kat is here. Kat also went to the bathroom right before this and started dusting the wall as if that would bury her pee.
I don't think other people need to know that.
And yet I've told them. It's interesting how that works, isn't it?
So news?
All right. Let me pull up my news. A lot of stuff. I'm going to try to go through it relatively quickly. Let's see. Let's start with non-WWE news because I've only got one of those. Unfortunately, and by unfortunately, I mean for me as a person, I was played. Jay White re-signed with NJPW.
Yeah. Why would you ever expect him to come to WWE?
Because he seemed like he was ready to leave. And I was ready to welcome him with open arms.
That's like expecting Kenny Omega to leave AEW. I
have a fucking prayer, dude. I'll take Kenny Omega or Kenny Ortega. Because I can't tell the difference between the two of them.
Kenny Ortega's, isn't he already part of WWE?
Kenny Ortega is the choreographer for High School Musical.
Oh.
So probably not.
Because you said his name, and you just said the choreographer, and I was like, okay, so choreographer for WWE.
I said High School Musical.
I only heard the choreographer.
No. But whatever. I got played. I'll admit that. I guess to go into further WWE news, let's start with the thing that I'm not really interested in, but I feel like I have to report on because it's the news and it seems obligatory. Yes, obligatory is the word I'm looking for. WWE added a new person in for creative. Christine Lubrano is now the Senior Vice President of Creative Writing Operations and is going to be working in collaboration with the one and only Bruce Pritchard. Hopefully that means good things. Judging by what I've heard from that side of the WWE, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the article doesn't really say anything that she's really had like her hands in lately, so I can't like judge it. But she is Emmy nominated, so
that's good. What's her name?
Christine Lubrano, Lubrano. She has worked on Portlandia, documentary now. Okay, actually, she's worked on like a lot of sketch comedy shows.
That's good. So she's used to kind of
run and gun kind of shit, it seems like.
Yeah.
Well, that's, you know what? Fine. I'm excited for that then. That seems good. That's what WWE needs.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah, she worked at IFC last. And I think that kind of quirky, dumbass humor is probably what WWE needs right now for the changing tide of fans. So, sick. Hopefully, we'll see a change. We probably won't for a couple months, but whatever. Maybe in the promos. And on top of people coming in and coming and leaving, Christian has announced that he is going to be part-time at WWE, which is fucking sick. Because a lot of people were like, it's going to suck if Christian had his last match and like it wasn't in front of a live crowd. Like that's kind of going to be lame. And I said, well, I don't know. But I am excited for him to come back, at least in a part-time role, because that means that maybe we could have another couple of like Edge and Christian moments.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I fully expected him to make an appearance today, but alas.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did, actually. I didn't, but I also really didn't know what to expect going into this. So, but so Christian's part-time now. Cesaro's contract ends after WrestleMania. I would really be hard-pressed to think that if he intends to continue wrestling, I don't see him leaving the WWE.
Yeah, I mean, considering he's just starting to get more of a push, especially after beating Daniel Bryan, and he's
done a lot more character work, too.
And he's such a massive part of Up, Up, Down, Down.
Yeah. And it seems like he's got really deep connections with literally everybody in the WWE at this point.
Yeah.
So I think people are like kind of like talking about this, like, oh, well, what if he leaves for like somewhere else? And it's like, I don't see that at all. And I really don't see him because his whole life is wrestling pretty much. He's not like a family man or some shit like that. He pretty much wrestles and drinks coffee
and plays video games.
Yeah. So I'm not worried, but also the more people talk about it, the more I'm just like,
yeah,
should I be worried?
I don't expect him to leave at all.
Yeah. If he leaves, I think it's because he's done wrestling, but even so, I don't even know how old he is, but I don't think he is. I feel like he's going to be around for a minute or two longer.
Cesaro is 40 years old.
Yeah, I'm not worried then. He doesn't exactly seem to be slowing down by any fucking means, considering he did the swing with 3 fucking men.
And I think he's just starting to reach like his pinnacle of his career.
Or he's coming back, I think, because I mean he was pretty high up when the bar was going on. So I think he kind of dropped off for a bit and he's coming back, and that's good.
Yeah.
On top of that, Keith and Mia have COVID. That is not related to contract signings, but it's just a note. I don't know if we talked about it last night or not. We did, because we talked about Ricochet.
Yeah.
But that's something. And then as far as, again, people coming in and people leaving, John Cena won't be at WrestleMania, and I'm not in total denial about that. Because it's something that somebody that would be at WrestleMania would say, and I'm going with that. I'm going to stick with that.
But also, this does kind of bring up a point that, like, you may hear a rumor of, like, what's supposed to happen at Mania or a certain pay-per-view, and that stuff can completely change on the way there. Like, wasn't Edge supposed to fight Drew or something at... Drew was supposed to take back the WWE Championship at Mania, but I don't think that's happening. I think he's going to lose it at Mania now. So it all depends on like how stuff goes and what happens along the way. Yeah, as Morgan Smith said...
If I have to watch Drew lose the title to anyone... Oh, go on.
As Morgan Smith said, card subject to change. COVID edition.
Oh, it hurts because it's true.
Yeah.
And that was why when people were like upset that Christian may have had his last match ever because he said he promised everyone one last match. People were like upset about like, oh, well then he didn't get to have his last match in front of a live crowd. And I was like, wrestlers say every other fucking week that they're not coming back, that they're not doing this, that they're not doing that. And then what do? That or this.
I mean, Daniel Bryan and Edge both came back from injuries that were supposed to permanently end their wrestling career, and here they are.
If there's one thing that the WWE has, or wrestling has in common with, like, across the board, is that unless, like, you Stone Cold Steve Austin a guy, 9 times out of 10, if somebody has a career-ending injury that they work back from, they're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And speaking of coming back, I guess I keep saying that, but like I was gonna try to do a loop with like career-ending injuries, and then I was like, no, it won't work. Becky Lynch is returning soon.
Shocker.
Maybe. It's okay. I assume Becky's gonna want to come back for WrestleMania. Just this is your dream job. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like having the flu and being like, I want to be back like to normal health by my sweet 16, but who knows? That said, so I guess she's coming back soon. But in my personal list of opinions, like maybe just stay home. You just pushed a child out of your body. I mean, maybe you don't have to come back like right now. Yeah, you have to come back. I can only survive so long.
Well, think of it this way. She comes back, maybe say like 2 weeks from now. She does a teaser. There's a little teaser of her coming back. Maybe a little vignette. Maybe like some kind of Ember Moon type thing. A week later,
Carmella.
we get... Yeah, like Carmella. A week later, we get maybe like her face or something like that. A week later, we get like her speaking, doing a promo. A week after that, she pinpoints a challenger, or somebody she wants to challenge, and then after that, she starts wrestling again, and suddenly you're like 6 weeks down the road already.
The way I see it is, so for our perspective here, for you and I, we hit the 100th episode mark pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like wrestling when you break up your week by 3 episodes per week. Your weeks go by really fast. Suddenly it is the fucking new year and you're almost done with January.
Yeah.
So I feel like to say I expect her to be back by WrestleMania. I do. But that's like 4 months down or 3 months down the road now and 4 or 5 months removed from her having a kid. Which is still a pretty quick amount of time, but I mean, in regular working terms, that's not that crazy. At least in the US, where paid parent leave is not a thing.
Mm-hmm. But I am sure, given how much Becky Lynch makes and how much sway she has in the company, I am sure she can very easily take some time off.
Right. I don't think that anybody's like sitting there like, Becky, you need to come back right now. But I'm excited to see her. I'm hoping she's back for WrestleMania. But I hope she's back for WrestleMania, not Fastlane or fucking Elimination Chamber. I want my bitch to rest, and then I want to see her kick ass.
No, I want to see her come back at Fastlane. I want to see her come back come back at Fastlane and then build up to a big match at Mania.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Maybe instead of Charlotte versus Rhea, it's Becky versus Rhea. Because I think what they would do is put Becky on SmackDown. Because you have Charlotte on Raw. But you have Bianca and Sasha on SmackDown.
Becky would be better off on Raw. I think if Becky came back to Raw would have a world of difference because there would be enough women for it to be like actually up in the air as to who's going after the women's title, and there'd be enough women to have a genuine tag team scene.
But knowing WWE, they're going to want to balance, and I mean, this is also a good thing, they would want to balance the women's scene so that it's not completely stacked on Raw. Because who's going to challenge for the SmackDown title right now? Like, Bianca, okay. Rhea, if she's on SmackDown, because we still don't know what brand she's on.
She probably is. I think she's on SmackDown. I think that would make more sense. I don't, again, in the interest of balance, I don't think that they would bring both Damian and Rhea back to Raw. I think Rhea would work better on Raw, in my personal opinion. I think there's better competitors for her there, but
SmackDown
needs a woman like her, I think, to kind of level things out.
The women's roster
at least in style.
Yeah, the women's roster on Raw is already stacked.
Because in terms of style, you kind of got Charlotte, who does similar shit. You kind of got Shayna, who does similar shit. SmackDown doesn't really have like a hard-hitting bitch
Tamina.
Besides Bianca, but Bianca's style's a little flippier, I think, than Rhea's, which is a little more manual, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
You got Tamina.
Yeah, but like they're gonna fucking use Tamina. Poor Tamina is just so hardcore slept on, and it makes me so sad. I hope that somebody comes out of the woodwork and is like, actually, Tamina's been producing so many fucking matches, and you just didn't know it. Then I'll be like, okay, cool.
Like cool. She's just
why?
She's just putting over other wrestlers.
Yeah, she's Daniel Bryaning it. Fine. But unless that's the case, it makes me so sad every time Tamina comes out because I'm just like, baby girl, just don't do this. Let's not do this today. We don't need to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Matches and promos?
Yeah. Today felt like a fucking cakewalk.
It did. Now, spin the wheel?
Oh, tits. Yeah, I guess.
Alright, this is my spin. And here we go. Oh, come on. I gotta get sprayed with water.
Oh,
The water,
so sad.
the spray bottle's in here.
Okay.
And
can you spin for me, just so I can prepare?
Yeah. And for those watching, we're always looking for suggestions for new spots on the wheel. Add new punishments or new rewards. All right.
I think we should put on the wheel a last man standing match.
Oh, God. It's going to be another hour on the show. All right. And your spin. No opinion. Oh, you had to jinx it. You jinxed it.
Why do I fucking talk? This is straight up like last night where I said, oh, Carlito's doing really well. And then Carlito got fucking eliminated 5 seconds later. Jesus, H.
You said nobody's gotten it twice in a row.
Now. That's gonna stick now. This fucking sucks. I'm gonna frat boy punch a hole in the goddamn wall.
Alright. Spray me with water. Hold on, let me take off my headphones.
Face me. I always get my
Oh, that was so much.
Oh, I know. I lined that shit up so it hit you right fucking between the eyes.
I feel so awake, though.
I'm gonna get the hiccups through this fucking podcast, and I know it.
Okay. But starting off the show, we had Drew coming out, starting the show, talking about the Rumble.
My boring prince.
Gotta bootlick Vince's big old cowboy boots.
I am such a whore for a boring Scottish man. It is painful because every time he comes out and I'm like, Drew, stop. And then every time I'm like, but keep going.
He's
don't feel bad.
He's talking up his match with Goldberg and like, we put in our all. I won his respect. All right, Drew. But then Edge comes out. And as soon as Edge comes out, Drew is complimenting him on winning the Rumble. And Edge's first response is, "What is wrong with you?" And you and I just started cracking up.
Because honestly, if anybody needed to say something to Drew about how he cuts his fucking promos, that's what needed to be said.
Yeah, because normally the champion would, like, as Edge said, kick in his head once he sees a threat come in. But Drew is so complimentary, he can't help but not do that. But then, to counteract that, Sheamus comes out. And kind of puts himself in the title scene as well. It's about time. And meanwhile, Edge is kind of put in the position of trying to decide what title he wants to go for after winning the Rumble. He's still not decided, and I still like that it's still kind of up in the air on whether or not he's going to go for Drew. I kind of hope he doesn't. I hope he goes for Roman instead, because I would love to see Sheamus and Drew at WrestleMania. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, but Mark, you got to consider this. Then you're carrying out a feud for 3 months, which has happened before. But we've wanted to fucking blow our brains out every time that happens.
Okay, so when
Apollo and Bobby.
When Keith comes back, after he recovers from COVID, we get him, Sheamus, and Drew kind of carrying out a story. and then it evolves into just Drew and Sheamus on the way to Mania. And I could see Edge as the Universal Champion. I could easily see him taking it off of Roman.
I want Edge taking the fucking title off of Drew. That's it. That's where it begins and ends for me.
I think you just don't want to see Drew with the title anymore because it makes him talk too much.
No, I love Drew talking. I really do. I mean, he makes me want to rip my fucking ears off. I really want to Van Gogh the shit out of myself when he talks. But Drew needs to be put in a position where he doesn't have to like act like every fucking breath he takes is because of Vince K. McMahon. Like, that's what's fucking throwing everyone right now, is that Vince is sucking the shit out of, or Drew's sucking the shit out of Vince's ass right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired. I want him to have a feud. I want him to get petty. I want him to get nasty as shit. And I can't have that right now. Because Drew has to be the figurehead. Drew has to be the role model. Well, look how that fucking works for Bayley, huh?
I just think that Edge and Drew won't work out because it's two faces going at each other. It's going to be boring.
Drew McIntyre heel turn 2021.
I mean, great. We've been kind of teased at it, but if it stays two faces, it's going to be boring as hell.
I wish Goldberg's promo was actually honest. I wish it actually made sense.
Yeah.
Because I think Drew, especially now that he's not, I don't think if he had a heel turn, he wouldn't go back to Scottish Psychopath. I think he would just go to, like, some other, whatever, persona.
Definitely not Scottish Psychopath.
But I'm getting kind of worried that Drew's going to be a consistent face. I don't think that we're going to get a turn at any point. But again, a Drew that's not kissing Vince's ass is probably a Drew we need.
He's going to be like Cena, like kind of once he hit the character that worked and got Vince money, he's going to stay that way forever.
Yep. And see how the fans fucking like that.
But after some deliberation on Edge's part, he decides to exit the ring. And then suddenly we have Sheamus in the corner of the ropes, lining up, and Brooke kicks Drew McIntyre in the face. And Liz and I were both shocked, but also I'm sitting there like, okay, yep. Kind of saw that coming.
Drew was also shocked.
I want to see a moment of camaraderie between the two, just like no hard feelings. It's for the title. There is a promo later on that makes sense. Actually, it's right after this, but it makes sense of this whole conflict.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
This is going to be a sick fucking feud.
It will be, yeah.
This could be Drew and Dolph Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Except better, because they have actually been friends for a millennium.
Yeah.
I think we got something good going on here.
Yeah. I think, kind of to add on to what Morgan's Miss said, this promo on its own, it's fine. You know, it's fine, but you add on the interview with Sheamus right after, you add on the interview with Drew where he's fucking sobbing, and it elevates it to just a whole new level.
I'm really excited for this. I mean, it breaks my fucking heart because I love them. But again, it's just going to be like Brandy and Edge, which is a great fucking feud, but they're best fucking pals.
Yeah. And you know for a fact that after each episode ends, Drew is going over to Sheamus's house for a Guinness.
And we also know, for a matter of fact, actually, it's probably Sheamus going to Drew's because Sheamus lives in Nashville.
True.
But another thing that we always talk about, friends wrestle each other better than people who don't actually like have that relationship.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sick fucking fight. I'm really excited.
I can't
and
wait.
Sheamus needs this too. I think this will be like breathe a little life in Sheamus's character.
Mm-hmm. This will be peak heel Sheamus. But right after that, we have that interview with Sheamus that was just mentioned. His motivation for doing this is that he's tired of being known as Drew's friend and actually wants to be known as a WWE champion once again. Because lest we forget, he was already the WWE champion. Or was he WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion?
That's not a question I can answer for you. That's a you question.
Might have been both.
I saw some people talking online saying, like, what world is Sheamus in where he thinks that he's seen as Drew's best friend? And I was like, the world we live in. The one where Drew just bought Sheamus a blanket with Sheamus's face and the faces of his two dogs knit into it. I think that's the world that Sheamus is living in right now. Real fucked up that Drew got that for him, though, and then Sheamus Brooke kicked him.
Yeah. What I do love about Drew's title reign is we're getting a lot of real moments and real motivations from these people, from all the challengers.
And that's something that Drew does really well.
Mm-hmm.
Drew does really well.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of it.
Also, Sheamus was the WWE champion 3 times and World Heavyweight champion once.
Holy shit.
He's the first...
I mean, Sheamus has also been around for 5,000 years, so...
True. But he's the first Irish world champion in WWE history.
Outside of Finn and Becky, has there been any other notable Irish wrestlers in the WWE that I'm suddenly forgetting?
Roddy Piper was Scottish, right?
Was he? No.
He wore a kilt.
Yeah, I think he just wore a kilt.
Mick Foley was Irish.
I meant like directly from Ireland, like first generation, not in Ireland. Yeah, no, Roddy Piper was a Canadian.
Okay, I don't know why he wore a.
Did you think that the voice he did in Always Sunny was fake?
Oh, Finlay is Irish. Thank you, Morgan's Mist.
Okay.
Finlay, Finn, Becky, Sheamus, Jordan Devlin.
I don't know who that is.
Killian Dane.
I thought Killian was Scottish.
He's from North Belfast, or Belfast, North Ireland.
Same shit.
Hornswoggle.
Scottish people would hate me for saying that, but same shit. Okay.
Finlay, Velvet McIntyre.
Okay.
Finn Balor, Sheamus, Dano O'Mahony.
You're reading off people who just have Irish heritage. Hornswoggle's from Wisconsin.
I'm on a list of the Irish wrestlers, top 10 Irish wrestlers. Hornswoggle may have just used it as a gimmick, but I think he's the only one here who has that. But Dano O'Mahony, who was born in 1912,
Jesus,
who is from Ireland, Becky Lynch, and Vince McMahon Jr.
Okay, anyways. Now that we've gone down this rabbit hole.
Alright, so after we finish up with that promo, we are left with Riddle versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. A match I was actually really looking forward to. Morgan Smith said Vince is from all the countries, god damn it.
Vince has multinationality.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man of the people. Oh, good lord. So yeah, Bobby versus Riddle. Not sure what's going on with Bobby. Bobby Lashley I guess he's taking the Rumble pretty fucking hard.
You know how we had the Scottish psychopath? Now we have the almighty psychopath.
Oh my god. Like, this made me nervous because I was like, I kept saying, like, her business isn't falling apart. Stop worrying about it. It's not going to happen. And then Bobby did this shit today, and I was like...
Also,
Ew.
Our halfway point for spinning the wheel again is after the Hurt Business match.
Am I going to lose my opinion for a third time tonight? Anyways. So Bobby just kind of like takes Riddle by his leg, dumps him on the ground. Then we get a stalling suplex. Riddle drags Bobby over the ropes in a move that he's done a couple times and has almost killed Bobby a couple times doing it. Which, you know, maybe I'm just an anti-Matt Riddle type of person. But usually if a move that you do almost knocks a man on his head twice, maybe stop doing it or learn how to do it better. I'm just saying, I can't fucking stand Matt Riddle. Anyways. So Riddle gets his little leggies around Bobby's neck and pulls him down against the ropes and then sends him out of the ring, which if it were the Royal Rumble, that would have eliminated Bobby. Because that's all Tom Phillips was saying for the last month and a fucking half. Good Lord, I'm so glad we're done with that at least. He then gets a floating bro out onto Lashley ringside. And Bobby Lashley says, I've had enough of this fucking haywire bullshit. Meets Riddle, who is on the apron. Bobby gets into the ring and gets the full Lashley on Riddle over the ropes. Which the ref says, hey, Mr. Lashley, you can only do that to a count of 4. And Bobby said, I run the fucking show now. I can do whatever I want. And then Bobby's DQ'd. And just won't let go. Bell rings. Bobby decides that he's going to continue to full Nelson Mr. Matt Riddle, which, by the way, Matt Riddle sporting a fucking shiner from Mr. Seth Rollins, who got some fucking justice for his fucking wife, and I respect that. I'm just saying. Is it obvious I can't fucking stand this man? So we get another full Nelson on Riddle. The bell rings a second time. It's like, it doesn't matter. At
that point, Samoa Joe grabbed hold of the bell and was just smashing it.
Joe's like, Bobby, stop! MVP is telling Bobby not to kill Riddle, which I said. And then Bobby takes Riddle in the full Nelson, throws him over the barricade, stares MVP down like he's about to fucking do it to MVP next, and then says, leaves, fucking... MVP's thrilled. MVP follows him at a distance, a safe distance. What? Oh.
I see where this is leading.
Do you?
This is leading to Bobby going for the WWE Championship again. The fact that he was easily able to just destroy Riddle, the #1 contender for his title, and then acted like a goddamn beast afterwards, and how confident and happy MVP was after that match. This is taking Bobby to Drew's title.
I would say it's taking Bobby to whoever gets the title at WrestleMania. Because
Really?
Drew has Sheamus right now. Yeah. Oh, and think of it this way. Drew has to deal with Sheamus. Okay? That will probably take us about a month into Elimination Chamber. That's probably when we'll get the match for this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Fastlane as probably the next time that title's really up for somebody to take. If Bobby goes for the title right now, I think with this energy, he needs to get the title. Drew's not dropping the title because there's no way in hell that Bobby Lashley, that they're going to do a title drop a month before WrestleMania when it's the WWE Championship. I think that's going to happen after WrestleMania.
I think WrestleMania, if Edge gets it, or if Edge goes after Drew, it's going to be either Sheamus versus Edge or Bobby versus Edge, because again, they're not going to do Drew versus Edge. Or they're going to do Fiend versus Edge. Because remember, Fiend was supposed to be in the title picture?
You know, can I just say something?
Hmm.
I know I'm the host of the podcast. I don't know why I fucking asked that. I am getting kind of concerned that the Fiend hasn't come back. I really thought that he'd be back by now.
I think they're just waiting for the right time, and this time of his disappearance is great spotlight for Alexa Bliss to show off. And they might be waiting to bring him back at Mania.
I don't know. I worry about Bray Wyatt a lot, but on top of that, it's like I did really think that we were getting him back by Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that it would set us up for a big Mania match.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, Fiend still has some sort of sight set on Randy, but whatever. That's future shit. Anywho.
I just want to say real quick, the WWE title picture looks fantastic right now. I mean, you have Sheamus, Bobby, Fiend, AJ, even, Edge. Amazing.
And if April comes and goes and Drew still has the title, I might have to start hating Drew, I think.
He should not have the title past WrestleMania.
I don't think that... I sometimes get the feeling that when you hold on to a title for like over a year, especially when it's a championship like that, it's like, let's fucking wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Let's go. I'm tired of you.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about Bayley for a while. And then Sasha got it, and I was like, woo, everything's open again. Everything's fresh and new.
Yeah, that was... I think Bayley's title reign was perfect. It really...
I don't like when people look invincible.
Yeah. And Bayley...
Which is why I don't like Braun.
Bayley looked invincible, but there were cracks in that wall.
Well, Bayley looked invincible because she had Sasha. And the only person that could bring Bayley down was Sasha.
Yeah. Also, Morgan's missed. Don't mention The Miz. Don't say he's in this picture.
If The Miz gets the fucking WWE Championship, I'm out. I'm done. Podcast canceled. Me canceled. The Miz canceled. Everything's getting canceled. I'll be a Fox News anchor's fucking worst nightmare. I'm canceling everything, baby.
We finished that match, right?
Yeah. Basically, just Bobby skulks away and stares over his shoulder like, MVP, are you fucking coming with me, or do I also have to pull your shoulders out of their sockets? But anyways.
After that, we get a little clip of a Bugatti rolling into the Thunderdome and Bad Bunny stepping out. God bless Bad Bunny. God bless him. He is one of the best celebrity guests that has ever been on WWE. Not because he's great at wrestling, but because he just loves it so much.
Seeing him there makes me so happy because I know that this is like his dream, and I know he's fucking thrilled. And again, it goes back to this thing that I've been saying a lot recently, which is I can't stand people that are involved in the WWE that don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. I love when we get a bitch that fucking cares.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny is that bitch. Same with Bianca. These are bitches that care.
Yeah.
I'm a bitch that cares. Full circle. I'm the next champion.
Okay.
In this essay, I will.
After that, we have just a little shot of Riddle being helped up by the medics. He's kind of concussed and asking who he just had a match with. They tell him Bobby Lashley, and he's like, What? I gotta fight him.
I want to give him another black eye. I cannot believe that Seth Rollins fucking did that. Just as if the Rumble could not have gotten better. When I saw that today, I was like, sweet as cherry fucking pie. which is actually quite tart. Sorry.
After that, we have Randy Orton. He's backstage, just, in a dark corner, ranting about Mr. Edge. He's talking about how he's been hurting him because he's his friend. He RKO'd his wife just because he's his friend, he's his pal, best buds gotta be together, best buds gotta RKO their best buds' wives. It's how it works. Randy
was like, Randy's like, you didn't die, and now I'm mad because I did this for you. And I was like, buddy, if you're doing this so that Edge can go back and be a father to his family, who's putting the bread on the fucking table? You're not the head of the table.
Beth Phoenix? She's a commentator.
You're right, Beth Phoenix straight up, she's the breadwinner in that family. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And
she put the Luvic in Wade like nobody.
What has Edge been doing? He was on Vikings. He was in a movie, okay. A movie that it didn't do so well.
Money Plane? Academy Award winning Money Plane?
That had a single set that they built and just used it in 50 different scenes.
God bless Edge. God bless Edge and everything he does. I'm so happy for him.
But he challenges Edge to a match later in the episode. And then after that, we move on to Gorilla. We have Xavier and Kofi backstage. Kofi's hyping up Xavier for his match against Mustafa. But this promo, it kind of made this feud feel incredibly ham-fisted, incredibly forced. Just like the way that Kofi and Xavier were like delivering their lines, it very much felt like, yeah, that Mustafa, he's like, being real weird, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like there's any reason.
I think that's partially because there wasn't any reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Xavier was supposed to be fighting Retribution this past month.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely just
I think that was just Kofi broke his fucking jaw.
Yeah.
Everybody got COVID.
Yeah, and then they kind of just forced in the Kofi Mustafa feud because Royal Rumble was right nearby, which was good improv.
And I think that when Kofi can fight, that's a great feud for Kofi to be part of.
Yeah.
But also, it's really kind of awkward to have a stable on a show where the only other stable isn't really dealing with them anymore. Like, they had it for a second, and now it's just Retribution's doing their shit. The Hurt Business is actually really well paired off right now because they've got their tag team, and then they've got their singles guy, so that's great. But, like, Retribution has nothing. Like, what are they going to do?
They kind of set this up early on in the Retribution introduction. They should have had like a legit all-out war between the Hurt Business and Retribution for takeover of the WWE. That's probably the best way they could have worked Retribution, but they didn't.
But also, they can't have Retribution because, again, the thing that works for Hurt Business is the same thing that works for the Undisputed Era, which is everybody has a fucking role. And those roles can be interchanged, as we saw with Undisputed Era, but everybody has a job. Retribution is just Mustafa and his 3 cronies.
Yeah.
No one has a job besides Mustafa.
You're saying Slapjack doesn't have a job?
Dude, imagine, the way I'm thinking of this is that, like, T-Bar and Dio tag teaming, that's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Those are big-ass men.
It's the bar.
Can Slapjack do a singles run? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you sell your entire life to Brennan Vink. We all make mistakes, baby.
But we move on to Xavier Woods versus Mustafa Ali. Also, I really think one thing they could really benefit, I know Vince would be like vehemently against this, but actually using the stuff that Mustafa tweets about in his actual promos and his story.
Give the dude a mic.
Yeah.
Give him a mic. He has every... I could talk about this for an hour, and I'm going to try not to, because what I'm going to say might be a little flagrant. However, Mustafa Ali has all the same chops to be fucking CM Punk. He could be the next CM Punk, I guarantee you. You know why he's not?
Because his name is Mustafa Ali.
Whichever one you want to choose on that end, yeah, it's because he's not white.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. I guarantee you that is why. And I don't feel ridiculous or like crazy for making that assumption, because I know how the WWE is. And if they gave Mustafa that mic and let him pull out pipe bombs like they did with CM Punk, they would have anybody that like financially backs them in a big way say, whoa, you put programming on Fox, you can't do that, buddy.
And what was it? He responded to a tweet yesterday or today where somebody asked him like why he doesn't have a weird gang name like everyone else in Retribution, and Mustafa just said, my name Mustafa Ali is scary enough to some people.
I'm just every week I'm reminded of this, and I'm just like, because that especially with what USA was saying, how they wanted it to be more adult and darker. I think if they had Mustafa sitting out there saying whatever the fuck he wanted without any chance of a punishment or retribution, I love watching your face change as you hear it. But that would be so good, and that would be engaging, and that would get people talking. And Vince just sits there and he's like, no, that won't work.
One quick thing before we move on to the match. Morgan's Mist made a really funny comment. He said, I'm willing to bet money that Mustafa just got his first push because Vince must have thought that he was from Saudi Arabia. That's why we got Mansoor. That's legit the only reason we got Mansoor.
You gotta laugh to keep from crying. It's like what we said with Jinder.
Yeah.
I thought Jinder was going to be debuting or returning. Sorry, not debuting. I thought Jinder was going to like maybe be returning after Rumble. I thought he was going to be at Rumble because he was just in the Superstar Spectacle, and now it's just like,
yep.
Fuck. Anyways, let's get into the show.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I have to drink on this fucking podcast. So Xavier starts off just all over Mustafa. Mustafa eventually sends a boot back to Xavier's midsection. It was a very weak boot, by the way. I kind of thought it looked funny. There's a shoulder tackle to Ali, and then Xavier tosses him from the ring. He slams Mustafa into the barricade, and then Slapjack and T-Bar are coming through to distract. Mustafa takes advantage of this with a neck breaker. And Kofi's just ringside, just talking shit, just shooting off at the fucking hip every 5 seconds. Getting a couple good Jerry fucking Lawler screams in there too, which I liked. So Mustafa takes to stomping Xavier's throat in the corner. There's another neck breaker to Xavier. We get a boot to the midsection of Ali, and then a failed DDT to Ali, but Xavier turns around the side and leg sweep. Mustafa goes for a tornado DDT. Xavier counters it, and we get a discus clothesline to Ali. T-Bar then breaks up the cover, and Kofi comes through, jumps off the fucking stairs, off of T-Bar's fucking arm, which, one, how? Two, how did T-Bar just manage to, like, steal himself? Like, yep, use that as a fucking step, too. Anyways, and then dives down onto poor fucking Slapjack, who has done nothing yet today, but Slapjack's the fucking Charlie Brown of this whole game, so. Anyways, T-Bar follows Kofi around the ring, and in the meantime, Xavier manages to roll Mustafa up with a modified crucifix pin to win. Thank God. Maybe this storyline can progress.
Yeah. I think it'll only end when we get Kofi versus Mustafa. That's it.
Yeah. And I think that is a WrestleMania worthy match.
Yeah. I think it's right around the corner.
I just think that sometimes the build-up doesn't pay off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I can't stand people getting into feuds with Retribution knowing, okay, so this is one singular dude. So now I'm going to have to watch him fight T-Bar one week, Dio the next week, and then Slapjack the next week before he can fight the final boss. Like, mamma mia. It's a very bland meatball.
But after that, we have Miz TV with special guest Bad Bunny. They get him out and they want him to be a part of their brand because they want to make an album with him. And then Miz and Morrison start rapping, and it doesn't sound good at all, in the slightest. But yeah, Bad Bunny just is not having it. But then we get a little debut from Damian Priest on his first regular main roster episode. And just no words, just immediately decks the Miz. John Morrison runs away, and then that's really that before moving into our next match. But I'm seeing the main roster shift in Damian. We have less the Archer of Infamy, and I don't know if that was just because Bad Bunny was on, but they're really embracing his Puerto Rican heritage.
True. I think one thing that was really cool was that we got to watch him talking to Bad Bunny purely in Spanish.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think we will still get Archer of Infamy Damian. I think it's just this transition period where they kind of have to swaddle the crowd first.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Still got his intro. Still got his walkout.
Yeah, I really hope that if he has like a main event match or if he's got like a pay-per-view match, that he gets to do the 3 spotlight thing. Ooh. Where it was like it'd light up on one side, light up on the other side, and then it would light up on him. Because that's an awesome fucking walkout. Yeah.
Especially in the Thunderdome. Oh my god. Just no pyrotechnics. Maybe some fire by the entrance, but that's it. You don't need all the sparklers. You don't need like all of that. Just like a few flames, the spotlights. That's it.
Yeah, I hope we get that.
Yeah, me too. But that promo leads into Damian Priest versus The Miz. Oh my god. This was... I enjoyed this. I really did.
This was a good match. We start off with a spinning back heel to Miz. Damian always makes it look fucking good. Mm-hmm. He then dives out onto the Miz at ringside. Bad Bunny sitting at the announce desk. Doesn't have a mic. Just sitting there. Front row seat. Looking over his shoulder every once in a while when the announcers say his fucking name. I'm just like, give him a mic. Let him talk. The Miz gouges at Priest's eye and then sends him shoulder first into the post. There's a clothesline to Priest and double axe handle off the middle rope. Miz hits him in the back of the neck, and Priest takes advantage of the fact that the Miz at this point is distracted by Bad Bunny ringside because the Miz is just talking shit at this poor dude. Priest takes advantage of that. He gets multiple hits on the Miz, then a clothesline. He does this goofy fucking arrow thing where he, like, pulls the arrow back and then splashes the person in the corner. And then he does this really cool fucking broken arrow.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
You know, I guess, yeah, take one, give one. Damian is then distracted by John Morrison. He managed to turn around in time to run at The Miz and right into a boot to the face. At this point, Bad Bunny says, they need me. And he steals the fucking Money in the Bank briefcase from ringside. And as Johnny comes over and is like, hey, hand that back. Bad Bunny's like, okay. Hands it back, then pulls out his stellar little pink microphone, smacks Johnny over the head with it. Glad they did not cut the audio from the microphone because you could hear it smack Johnny. And then this gives us the space for the reckoning. Brings Damian to victory. Bad Bunny's thrilled. I'm thrilled. Damian's thrilled. If Miz ever says Mr. Bunny, if Corey ever says Mr. Bunny again, I think my brains are going to fall out of my ears. Mr. Bunny?
I hope we get more of Bad Bunny. I really do.
I do too.
I'm sure he would love to come back.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And then we move on to the second championship match of the evening for the Raw Tag Team Championship between the Hurt Business and Lucha House Party. That was kind of shocking.
This match was bonkers. And you know why it was bonkers? Because the Hurt Business is fucking scary with their fucking hits, and Lucha House Party has just gotten significantly better every fucking match. We started out with Shelton and Lindsay. I took really shitty notes for this, so I apologize, but like I've said before about, I think with more Lucha House Party matches, actually, this was one of those matches where, like, I sat there and I was like, I don't want to stop watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't type without looking at my keyboard, so. I'll never be a stenographer, I'm sorry. Shelton just tosses Mr. Lindsay. He goes to toss him again, but Lindsay goes clean over his shoulders, lands on his feet. We get a crossbody off the ropes to Shelton, and Grand Metalik gets him. Lindsay lifts Grand Metalik on his shoulders. Every time he does this, I expect something to go horribly wrong. It does not. He drops him for the Hurricane Rana on Shelton, but Shelton catches Grand Metalik. Grand Metalik still manages to flip the power and send Shelton right into the fucking mat. He then goes off the ropes for a head scissors, but Shelton catches him and throws him overhead. We get Cedric in. There's a drop kick to Cedric from Grand Metalik. Lindsay gets back in with a back heel kick to Cedric. Shelton kind of bops himself in for a second. Grand Metalik plays interference, drop kicks him. Cedric and Shelton are trying to, like, get back in the ring, and then Lucha House Party together, they do their little handspring off the ropes to knock Hurt Business back out. We go to commercial, we come back, it's Cedric and Lindsay in the ring. Cedric fucking spikes the soul out of Lindsay. And sweet, sweet Lindsay, his little fucking head is right in the camera frame when you see him just inaudibly, but his mouth formed the fucking words of just a hard fuck. And I said, Lindsay, I felt the K on the end of that, dude.
Oh.
Shit. My poor boy.
Oh, Lindsay.
Oh, take off the mask, Lindsay. I just need to know if you're hot. Anyway, Shelton gets in. Shelton slams Lindsay's spine first into the ground, so if his back wasn't hurting before, it certainly is now. There's a jawbreaker to Shelton. Lindsay fucking nearly DDT Shelton, I think. This was like that move, I think, where Lindsay like flipped himself over Shelton to drag him down. And you and I were both just sitting there like, what the fuck? Anyways, there's a gutbuster to Shelton. Cedric gets in. And by a gutbuster to Shelton, I mean a gutbuster to Lindsay. I don't know why I wrote Shelton in my notes. Cedric gets in. He flips Lindsay right down into the ground, just like absolutely thwaps his body into the fucking mat. Shelton gets back in. There's a DDT to Shelton. Cedric gets in. He catches Lindsay's foot as Lindsay goes for a super kick, flips him. Lindsay lands on his feet, lands a drop kick on Cedric, gets Grand Metalik in, who takes to the skies, lands on Shelton, goes off the fucking rope, launches Cedric. We get a massive Hurricane Rana. Lindsay goes off the top rope at this point onto Shelton. Grand Metalik dives out to finish the fucking job, sending Shelton backwards into the announce desk as he's carrying the weight of two men. Cedric then, when we're back in the ring, Cedric catches Grand Metalik as he goes off the ropes again. Grand Metalik still manages to turn that and roll Cedric up. Lindsay gets in. There's a frog splash from Lindsay and a senton from Grand Metalik onto Cedric. Both of them land hard. Shelton breaks up the cover and Lindsay goes up top, but a pump knee strike from Shelton takes him all the way out to ringside. Cedric is then fired the fuck up, gets a knee strike on Grand Metalik. Shelton then tags in on Cedric, who's like, oh, wait, I don't like when people fucking do that to me. And I said, yeah, Cedric. Yeah.
Moron.
Anyways, fucking idiot. Cedric's fucking pissed. Shelton hits pay dirt to retain. Maybe I'll regret saying this. I'd watch this match at least 30 more times.
Oh, yeah, you'll definitely regret this. Although, actually, I don't think you will. Because,
yeah.
I mean, with how...
I feel sick.
Yeah, I mean, Lucha House Party is incredibly active right now, so I don't see them, like, doing many repeat matches, especially the fact that they're in the Dusty Cup. But now that that match has come to a close, let us continue and spin the wheel. So at the moment, you have no opinion for best of the night.
Yeah, I know.
And let's spin the wheel for your spin. Ooh, you have to get sprayed with water.
Come on.
Also, real quick, Morgan Smith said, considering that we'll watch Riddle and Lashley at least 3 more times and make that trade. Honestly, yeah. Lucha House Party versus Hurt Business will be a lot better than Riddle versus Lashley. 3 more times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And before...
I mean, we've gotten a couple Lucha House Party Hurt Business matches now, and every time it is one of those matches where I can't take notes because I'm too fucking focused.
Yeah.
It's one thing after another, and every time I'm just like, holy shit, how do they fucking do this?
I mean, let's be honest. The male tag team scene in Raw is great right now. You've got Lucha House Party, Hurt Business, New Day. I don't want to say Jeff and Riddle because I think they've kind of scrapped that. But Retribution's also pretty good. Like, when they wrestle, they're good. But before I come in and give you a nice water spray, let me do my spin. Fuck, I have to do an accent. Alright, I'm gonna come in, think of the accent you want me to do until the next spin, and I'll spray you real quick.
Just gonna cover my AirPods. Gotta get my waterproof coat over my AirPods.
Alright, ready?
Please don't be mean.
On 3. 1.
Oh! The waterproof coat worked on my AirPods, though.
Oh, good. That's good.
It's nice having really thick hair.
Alright, so give me an accent.
Oh, man.
Please be nice.
I don't think I will be.
You sprayed me in the face. I didn't even spray you in the face back.
Fine, do a Boston accent.
Boston? You want me to do a Boston accent?
Yeah, I want full Casey Affleck. I want full Good Will Hunting.
Alright,
Let's
getting
go.
a Boston accent. Alright.
This is a mistake, actually. I fucking hate Boston. I hate people from Boston.
Yeah, I don't know why you do that.
Never forget last year's Yankee game where that one crazy Boston fan just bopped himself all the way up to the top of Fenway and was like screaming about how much he respected the Yankees. And I was like, and fucking Brett Gardner's just standing there while this man is dangling from his fucking death. And Brett Gardner's like, it's like, Brett, stop. Anyways, this isn't a baseball podcast. Wish it were.
So up next, we've got Charlotte and Asuka. An interview with them. We've got
brother.
we've got them being asked about Ric Flair, and they're now focused on their titles. That's really it from that interview. There's not much in that promo. But next we've got Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Lana and Naomi for the chance to for a match for the WWE Women's Tag Team title. And I'm not doing good with his accent.
I like that is like a whole thing with the Boston accent. You still said Asuka.
Asuka.
Okay. Let me say something here. Apparently, rules don't count in this match, which is normally something I say and then somebody proves me wrong. Except normally in these kinds of matches, anybody can tag in on anybody. Doesn't matter. But you gotta tag in. So tell me why there were so many moments, especially in the first half, where I just saw ladies jumping in and suddenly like another lady was like, oh fuck, ducking out. Like in one half the ring, fucking like Lana comes in. I'm like, you definitely did not just get tagged in. But anyways, we start with Charlotte and Naomi. There's a shoulder tackle to Naomi and a hurricane round to Charlotte, and then a dual kick, which said, oh my god, my fucking ankles. A kip up combo. Naomi made it up first. I'm just going to say that. Anyways. Mandy gets in off Charlotte. Asuka gets in too, somehow. Anyways. There's a dual drop kick to Mandy. And I was like, I get it. The ladies' roster is all evenly matched. This isn't really the way to show me that. You could just show me that in their unique fighting styles. But I guess we'll all just do the same moves to each other. No big deal. Whatever. All the ladies are the same, just in case anybody forgot. It's fine. It's not a sore spot for me or anything. Anyways. I'm not mad. Dana Brooke gets in. Lana's in. There's a kick to the midsection of Lana from Dana. Mandy gets back in. Asuka comes in to protect Lana from getting beaten up. They are, for everybody who wants to understand here, I'm getting licked by a cat. What are you doing?
Ew.
It's like normally like when like my dog licks me, I'm like, oh, so sweet. But when a cat licks you, you know she's tenderizing your fucking meat, and you're like, oh no, we're not doing that. Anyways, so for the purposes of anybody who did not see this match, let's say if we're looking at the corners of my fucking screen here, we've got Charlotte and Asuka here, we've got Lana and Naomi up here, and we've got Dana and Mandy down here. What?
Morgan's Miss just said that our wheel is the same wheel that WWE uses for Lana's tag partner.
God damn it. You're not wrong. Anyway, makes me so mad. Because you're not wrong. And also the fucking, honestly, they probably just, that's how they choose Lana's accent for a given moment.
Yeah.
Remember when Lana had the same accent as Rusev and then suddenly Lana had no accent?
It was all fake.
Like, Lana, that's not even where you're from. But anyways, marrying Bobby Lashley does weird things to a person, I guess. Anywho, so with that layout in mind, we had fucking Dana and Lana right about here. Mind you, Charlotte and Asuka are still over here. Asuka comes in, beats Dana off of Lana, and then stays in. So at this point, Asuka's the legal man. I guess that counts as tagging when you beat somebody out of the fucking ring, sure. She takes Naomi off the apron. Mandy and Dana drop. Is there a reason? I'm so sorry.
What was that?
Oh, I had a makeup palette hanging off the edge of the table, and she came up and like hit me with her paws. So I went down to pet her, and I accidentally smacked the makeup palette down on top of her.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Come here. It's okay. It's okay. Mommy's sorry. Mommy's sorry. Come here. Let me see if I can try to give her a treat without knocking everything over. Come here. Yeah. Oh, you suddenly forgive me. Amazing. But she takes Naomi off the apron. Mandy and Dana drop Asuka, and then they knock Charlotte off the apron as well. Where are you? Don't scream at me. She probably deserved to. We get Charlotte and Dana in. Can you take it? Dana attempts to... With Naomi, it's called a rear view, because it's a move. Dana does it. I don't know what the fuck to call it. I'm just going to call it a booty bump. She attempts that on Charlotte, but Charlotte just hits her in the fucking back of the head. And then there's legs around Dana's neck, slamming Dana's head down. And then Charlotte just launches her via her legs. And I said, Charlotte, every time you do that, I like, what are we? It's a bit much. I'm in love. Anyways, so Mandy gets in. Charlotte cartwheels from over the ropes. There's a boot to the midsection of Mandy from Charlotte, and then Mandy stomps Charlotte in the midsection as well. Dana gets back in. There's an elbow drop onto Charlotte, and then a boot to Dana's midsection. Dana keeps unloading on Charlotte, and Charlotte finally pushes her away before kicking her in the stomach. Mandy gets in. They go for a team suplex to Charlotte, but Charlotte lands on her feet and then manages to clothesline Mandy and Dana. Then Asuka gets in. We get a release German suplex and a shiny wizard to Mandy. Asuka goes up top with a missile dropkick down onto Mandy. We then have Lana in and Charlotte. Charlotte's just ragdolling Lana with a chin lock before tossing her down. Lana throws Charlotte backwards. Naomi gets in. There's a lariat and a back elbow to Charlotte, and then a bulldog. So good. So good. Naomi goes off the middle rope with a kick to the face of Charlotte. Lana gets back in. We get double knees to the back of Charlotte, who's slung against the ropes. There's a boot to the face of Lana. Charlotte goes for the figure four, and Lana kicks her away, which I thought was actually kind of impressive. Then Mandy attacks Charlotte. Dana attacks Naomi. Asuka attacks Dana. Charlotte gets in with the natural selection. I didn't take notes for this because it broke down. But Charlotte got a natural selection on Dana. And then Ric Flair comes. With his child bride in tow. And Flair just says, fuck this shit, I'm out. Tags out on Asuka, who's just standing there like, what the fuck? Okay. So now she has to face Naomi. We get a rear view. Naomi wins for her team, her and Lana. And Asuka's just sitting there like, great. Great. This is fucking stellar. And honestly, I wish that Asuka had somebody to fucking fight for the fucking Raw Women's title because she doesn't need to be dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
She has the fucking title, and somehow people who are much lower than her, and I'm not saying this about Lana and Naomi, but I'm just saying that like a lot of people who don't deserve the opportunities that they're getting right now in comparison are getting like these massive like opportunities, and the fucking women's champion of the brand is doing fuck all. It's oh man. I feel like because I like this episode so much, I've got more time to think about what I'm fucking annoyed about.
Yeah, but I am excited to see Lana and Naomi in a tag team match. I think I think
they're gonna look good.
Yeah, Lana is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Yeah. All right, sure.
Then we get an interview
when she's not standing pouting.
Yeah. But then we get an interview with Drew McIntyre. I'm not good with this accent. Baston.
There you go. There you go.
Baston.
You're getting there.
Drew McIntyre interview. He is just completely heartbroken of what Sheamus did. And just starts crying. It's heartbreaking.
It made me so sad. Like, I don't like when men cry, only because, like, when a grown-ass man is crying, I'm like, well, I've got to be breaking down right now, apparently, because if they're crying and I'm not, something's wrong. Oh, man. Oh. Oof.
But after that, we get a weird handicapped match between Elias versus Jeff Hardy and Carlito.
Yes. Carlito and Jeff versus Elias, because there was no one else there. It was a handicap match. Anyways. I think somebody comes in at the end, and I'll only mention them because of Carlito. So we start with Carlito and Elias. Carlito just kind of tries to break Elias's arm for the majority of the time he's in. Pardon me. Jeff gets in. He goes off the top to chop Elias's hand. Jeff does his fucking the inverted atomic drop, the drop kick, the fucking. I can't stand it. Just when Kushida does this shit, I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was wild. Amazing. Jeff Hardy does the same thing, and he like looks like he's rushing to finish it, and I'm like, take your time. They're fine. And also he does it within like the same like 4-foot square perimeter. Whereas like Kushida's like all over the fucking ring.
Yeah.
Anyways, Elias wrenches Hardy's arm, but Hardy reverses it. There's a fucking, I don't know, a gust of wind like distracts Jeff, which gives Elias a chance to attack him from behind. Elias punches Jeff in the side before whipping him into the ropes and hitting him with a nice brick wall of a fucking shoulder. Elias then clubs Jeff in the back to stop him from tagging out. There's a cheap shot from Elias to Carlito, and this angers Carlito. And Carlito thinks for a second about bobbing himself into that match. But he sits back. We get a sit-down chokeslam to Mr. Hardy, and Carlito is in. And this is when I'll start talking about the one person I will never, ever talk about, which is just some random racist dude that shows up every once in a while, and I really think security needs to kind of get a handle on it. But either way, Carlito beats this weird-ass racist to pieces. To absolute pieces. Obliterates his ass. Elias realizes, oh, I'm supposed to be fighting right now. Gets in. Goes for a belly to back on Carlito. But Carlito goes up and over. And then lands on his feet. Gets a nice big backstabber. Then tags Jeff Hardy in. Goes after the random fucking racist. To beat him up some more ringside. Because Carlito said, I'm not here for Elias. I'm here to save my fucking career and doing a good job at it, buddy. And two, to to find this person that seems to be getting a lot of airtime for no fucking reason and beat his ass. And I said, thank you, Carlito. I've been waiting for this. Anyways, Jeff Hardy then gets in, Swanton bombs Elias and wins. I don't give a shit about that. Carlito looked so good. Carlito came out there with a fucking mission. He was supposed to be fighting Elias, and he still said, no, I have bigger fucking fish to fry.
Carlito has been fantastic.
Carlito.
Carlito.
He looked so fucking good. And my dude, like, he's come back in, like, peak physical fitness. He has been gone for so long, and I saw this, I think, on Twitter. I think it was from Wrestle Talk. Carlito's been gone for so long that when they were showing, like, the video package before he came out, there were no high-res clips. Because it's been that fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yeah. Alright, so up next we have a promo of Edge monologuing to the camera, just going on about Randy and the title. It's Edge doing his dark corner thing. Nothing real important. Then we get Edge again backstage with Damian Priest. Edge just congratulates Damian on doing great in the Rumble.
It seemed random, but at the same time I was like, dude, that's gotta mean the world to Damian. Like, Damian loves Edge. That's gotta be something special for that dude.
He got praise from both Edge and Kane during the Rumble. That's massive.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm. So then we get Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross for nothing. It's just a match. Yeah.
Oh man. Fucking Bliss was out here tonight doing worse than I've literally ever had to watch. Oh God. When she jumps up and down and claps and like does like her like little like helicopter dance thing and shit like that, I'm like, my insides curdle. And then I heavily consider just being like, I think I need to call the cops. I don't know. Something feels wrong. I don't feel safe. And this probably has to be illegal in some way, right? Oh dear. My laptop's about to die. Oh boy. Every day, we stray further from fucking God's light, I think. Anywho. So we get a headlock on Bliss. Bliss escapes it, puts Nikki in a head scissor submission, and then Cross slams Bliss headfirst into the buckles. We get a crossbody to Bliss, a snap suplex to Bliss. Bliss then slaps and punches Cross. Bliss slams Nikki into the ground and then just like kicks her. We get a waistlock on Cross with Bliss's legs. And I'm going to have missed a part here because oh no, I didn't. Never mind. It happened later in the match than I thought. There's a failed mandible claw because Nikki just fucking says absolutely not, slams her backwards, stomps on her. And then Bliss does that thing where she transforms into Bliss Cross Bliss. And for the second fucking time that this has happened, the opponent, which originally was Asuka and now it's Nikki, like, Bliss Cross Bliss comes out and she's like, oh, Nikki, we're best friends. Like, oh my God. And Nikki's just like, no. And just kicks Bliss in the fucking stomach. And I said, all right, sure. Why not? We get a Sister Abigail to Nikki. At this point, it's very clear that we're running low on time because although this does allow Alexa Bliss to win once she transforms back to Dark Bliss, if that's what we're calling her, weird little Bliss, which is probably a more apt title.
Funhouse Bliss.
No, I want to say something derogatory. But Bliss wins, and then it's clear we're running low on time because Nikki Cross is technically still sitting in the ring when Randy's music plays. And we get Randy Orton walking down the ramp, side-eyeing Bliss, before just being like, not today. Not today, Satan.
And that moves us right into Randy Orton versus Edge.
It does. Hate to say it. Didn't love it. Didn't love this match at all. But I think it's really hard to do a part 2 to the greatest wrestling match ever and have me sit there and say, yeah, that was good. But at the end of the day, it's Edge and Randy, so I can't really complain. Immediately, we get a Puma tackle. And I will never call it what it is, just in case you're wondering, Mark.
A power slam.
No, it's a Puma tackle.
Power slam.
Immediately we have a Puma tackle. There's a knee strike to the prone RKO. Edge tries to get the anti-venom on Randy, but Randy fights out. He doesn't let him lock it in. He slams Edge backwards. There's an uppercut to Edge and then a kick to the midsection. Sorry, no. Maybe? I don't know. There's a kick to the midsection. Edge gets his execution off. We get another Puma tackle to Edge. Randy then whips Edge into the steel steps. He just kind of takes him around the ring, punches him everywhere. Edge managed to get one heavy punch on Randy. There's a clothesline to Orton. Edge looks like he's about to go up top. Randy meets him, starts beating him up. It looks like we're setting up for a superplex. Edge wants nothing to do with that. Sends some shots to the Viper's injured knee. And then it looks like we're going for the superplex again. But instead, Edge once again beats Randy all the way down and goes off the top for a flying clothesline. There's a failed RKO, a successful execution. Edge pushes Randy back down from the apron, and my dude eats barricade for dinner. Oh my God. Edge then tosses Randy back into the ring, and Randy just boops himself right on out. No time for that shit. Just says, nah, that's not for Randy. Randy at this point is just kind of like slumped against the fucking announce desk, so Edge goes out and meets him. And Randy, like a fucking child, just does like a very quick, like, boop, right to Edge's eye. No motion change. Looks tired as shit still, but just like a boop. It's like, Randy, come on, dude. He then sends him spine first into the announce desk. Randy gets himself back in the ring, gets Edge back in the fucking ring, and is acting like a fucking freakazoid. Oh my God. He catapults Edge right into the bottom rope. We get a Draper DDT that Randy really looks like he's straining to achieve. And just as Randy is doing his dumbass little Viper shit, which I love. I call it dumbass, but I just need everyone to understand. I love it. I just think he's goofy because Randy's going to injure his fucking shoulders if he keeps slamming the mat like he does. We all know how fragile those fucking things are. And by that I mean his shoulders. Anyways, Alexa Bliss, because at this point you and I thought we were going to get Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Instead we got Alexa Bliss, like with black shit coming from her mouth. I don't know, man.
Creepy shit. I kind of like it. I think it's cool. Creepy. I'm horror fan. I like it.
I thought it was goofy. I thought it was dumb as funk, and I thought maybe that's why people shouldn't chew on ink pens.
Goofy's been the whole theme of the Firefly Funhouse. Been the whole theme. I love it. Goofy horror.
I would like Alexa Bliss if I did not feel like she was an over-sexualized child in a ring. It makes me uncomfy on a number of levels.
To be fair,
if she did not do that shit, if she did not do her like weird little like that shit, I wouldn't mind her. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
To be fair, nobody's sexualizing her but the fans. WWE does nothing to sexualize her while she's in there.
When the WWE opens the door to that happening, it's their fault because they control the door. That's like saying, oh, there's customers in the store because you unlocked the doors. Yes, if there's a customer in the store after you locked and shut the doors, that's kind of on the customer at that point.
Isn't that also...
If you have the doors, you can close them.
Isn't that also blaming someone for being, for dressing sluttily or skimpy?
No, because there's one thing, it's one thing to say, here are my titties, and it's another thing to say, here are my titties, and I'm acting like a baby.
She has no titties out, no boobs are shown, everything's covered, nothing is showing, there's nothing sexualized about it.
I don't want to get into this discussion with you, because I'm telling you right now, it's creepy, it's uncomfortable, and you got this hot bitch, a girl that a lot of people, especially a lot of guys, because there's a literal fucking song written about her, a lot of guys think she's fucking hot. A lot of guys really want to tap that ass. Now, we're making her very hot, somebody that is sexualized by the fans on a regular basis because she's hot, and now we're having her act like a 2-year-old.
All right, that's a good point.
It is a problem.
Yeah, you make points, and Morgan's Miz does make a point as well. He said WWE doesn't do a thing to stop the fans that sexualize her, though. As long as they keep buying her merch, they won't do a thing.
Exactly. And to be fair, the WWE knows what they're doing, which is the other thing they've got a problem with. And the final thing that I'll say about this, oh dear, I might have done too much, is just that Alexa Bliss was doing fine when she was still in the Firefly Funhouse. She was really playing it off as like just the female version of Bray, which essentially his character is like a Mr. Rogers, but scary. So, with that said, I don't know why she had to come out and start acting like a baby. That's the part that I don't get, because she was doing fine acting like a scary female version of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, alright. Now, because I just want to break out of this accent,
Wait, I'm not done.
What's left?
Randy's distracted. Edge gets a spear on him. He wins. Apparently, this is the last time we're going to see this match. Thank you.
Okay. Now, let's spin the wheel. Our last spin of the night. See if you still have no opinion on the best of the night. But we'll do my spin first. And here we go. No, I got no opinion. It breaks even. It cancels out. Oh, all right. Now
I'll get it again.
All right, let's spin your spin in 3, 2. Oh, it was so close. It was this close. I wish you could see it right now. But you landed on safe. You landed on safe, but you were so close to no opinion. You were the tiniest sliver away.
Oh my god, stop. I kept forgetting where the fuck and here we go comes from when you do it. And I finally just realized it's cash cab.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Where's it from?
The Dark Knight.
Oh. Well, Ben Bailey does it on cash cab too.
Bailey? Oh, Ben Bailey.
Ben Bailey, not Bailey.
Morgan's Miss the Wheel is not gimmicked. I have no control over what it lands on, I promise. There's nothing I would want more than for Liz to have no opinion so that we're not arguing about the best of the night. But...
Yeah. Sometimes I wish the heel was gimmicked.
Promo of the night. We started off with Drew coming out and having a confrontation with Edge that led to Sheamus booting him in the face. This was good. I really liked Edge in this. Drew kind of came off as a broken record. And Sheamus's boot definitely was a surprise. A welcome one. But Edge was definitely the best part of this promo. Just what is wrong with you? And then that led us into the...
You didn't have to say it like that.
There's an interview with Sheamus, which gives more motivation. I like that it gave more motivation. On its own, it's whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, it really adds a lot. Then we have Bad Bunny rolling in his Bugatti that might be a rental. It was a nice lead into everything that happened. We had Riddle being helped by the medics. That's not really a promo. Might be considered one, but I don't think it will be. We had Randy Orton backstage ranting about Edge. He just comes off as a fucking psychopath, and I guess that's the point, but he does it too well. We had Xavier and Kofi backstage. I already mentioned that this promo had made this whole feud feel a little forced. But, it's always nice to see Kofi and Xavier together. But then we had Miz TV with Bad Bunny. This was great. We got to see Damian for the first time on Raw. We got to see Bad Bunny in a promo. It was great. Everything about this was great. We also got horrible singing from Miz and Morrison. Then we had the Charlotte and Asuka interview, which was okay, nothing substantial. We had the Drew McIntyre interview of just him sobbing. This was heartbreaking, but in the long run, didn't really add much. Then we had the Edge promo with just him monologuing. Yeah, it was an Edge promo. It's just him sitting in a dark corner. You just take every other word he says, and that's his point. And then Edge congratulating Damian Priest backstage, which was nice. So if I had to pick one thing here, oh man, for best promo of the night. I'm gonna give it to Miz TV for Bad Bunny and Damian Priest.
I'm torn. The Drew promo was really good.
It was, but on its own.
Well, here's where I'm going with this. Drew promo was really good. That aside, probably gonna get 20 more of these.
Yeah.
Don't know how many more Bad Bunny promos I'm gonna get.
Very few.
I'll take my chances on this one. I'll go with you.
Okay, cool. Alright, so Miz TV with Bad Bunny. Oh, gotta make the wheel go away. There we go. Alright, so next up we have Wrestler of the Night. And there was a lot of competition tonight. So we started off with Riddle versus Bobby Lashley. My pick is definitely Bobby. I mean, Riddle didn't do shit. He didn't do anything. This was all Bobby. Just for the fact that Riddle, again, did nothing. Then we had Xavier Woods versus Mustafa Ali. Woods just knocked it out of the park. He's my pick. He looked great. Looked fantastic. It's always really nice to see him wrestle because for his body type, you really wouldn't think he's as high flying as he is, as quick as he is. But he's probably one of the most fun wrestlers to watch right now. Then we had Damian Priest versus The Miz. I am definitely going with Damian Priest. He looked great. I'm glad we got his spinning lariat. I'm glad we got the broken arrow. Damian Priest is a great wrestler, and I hope they can really make him look great for longer than Keith Lee looked great. Because Keith Lee had a week, maybe 2, that he looked great. I hope Damian lasts longer than that. But then we had the Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. I gotta go with Grand Metalik. He just went absolutely bonkers in the ring. Went nuts. He had some sick moves. And just always comes off as an incredible genius in the ring. It always alternates between Lindsay and Grand Metalik, but I think today it definitely goes to Grand Metalik. Then we have Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Lana and Naomi. Definitely Naomi. I think she's the only one in this match that really impressed. Mandy and Dana didn't do anything. Lana was okay. Asuka didn't do anything. And Charlotte was the second best. But she has her faults. So definitely Naomi. Then we had Elias versus Jeff Hardy and Carlito. Fucking Carlito. Carlito is amazing. I can't wait to see him in non-COVID era when he can do the apple bit in the beginning. But yeah, that baseball slide onto the weird racist was fantastic. Just him going absolutely nuts in the ring was so great to see. After how many years was it? Morgan Smith said he was wrestling in 2013 in Brazil, but
he hasn't been in the WWE picture for a hot minute. I just had his Wikipedia actually open. But do I still? I don't. Let's see.
I think it was like 10 years. 10 or 11.
I think it was about 10 years. Let me open up his... So he was in Ohio Valley Wrestling from 2003 to 2004. That doesn't matter to me right now. He was in the WWE from... Okay, so 2003, because Ohio Valley was part of it. Through... He made sporadic appearances up to 2014, and then he returned to WWC. He returned to WWC in 2010, but he made a couple appearances, I guess, in 2014, and that was about it. So it's been about 11 years since he was actively, consistently wrestling.
Yeah, and he came back looking absolutely jacked. My voice cracked for good reason there.
I guess during his time with the WWE, he was kind of a mess of a human being. So it's even more of a testament to him coming back and being just... He looks... I think also he looks jacked as shit, and he looks balanced.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a lot more of him because he was there tonight as a trial run as a producer. So I think he's kind of going into a Daniel Bryan type of role.
Yeah. But moving on, we have Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross. Say what you will, I'm going with Alexa Bliss here. Alexa actually looked like a fantastic wrestler today, but she also combined that with incredible body language and just facial language. When she had those moments of trying to pin Nikki repeatedly, And you just saw on her face, like, trying to compute everything as it happened, but the gear's not quite turning. That was a great sequence. And I just really enjoy watching this new Alexa Bliss wrestle, because she feels so fresh and weird. And I really like it. And she put a new spin on the Sister Abigail. Did you notice that?
I watched it happen. If that counts as noticing it.
You know how with the Sister Abigail, the arm goes over the person? She wrapped her arm under the neck and twisted on her way around. It's a small difference, but the commentators pointed it out. But then we move on to Randy Orton versus Edge. My pick is definitely Randy. I mean, I love Edge, but Randy's something else. I love him. He's so good. We joke about it all the time, but his facial language when he's wrestling, it's strange, but also it gives his character a lot more life. Really, really love him. For this match, I'd say him and Edge are close for being my pick, but I think I'll go with Randy for this one. Now, as far as the wrestler of the night overall, it's tough. It's really tough. But
it's a loaded crowd tonight.
It is. But I think I do want to go with Grand Metalik.
I can't say no.
I mean, who else would you pick?
I can't. I don't know. I mean, Damian was okay. Damian was good for his first time around.
Damian makes me excited for his future matches, but that's it.
Yeah, Damian will probably get in like next couple of weeks, I'm sure. But I'd love to say Edge, but not tonight.
Yeah.
Again, maybe in like the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna get back on that Grand Metalik train again. I love him, dude. He is every week, and I think it hits harder because like we were both kind of like, Jesus Christ, Grand Metalik, like what the fuck is going on with you? Because like he wasn't doing well.
Yeah. So
I feel like to watch him doing well, I'm just like, makes me so happy.
He whipped into shape.
I don't know what happened. Dude took like a couple weeks off and suddenly like got to Raw and said, "Oh, I'm actually a good wrestler now." In case you guys forgot, and I was like, "I did. You did, Grand Metalik. Thank you."
All right, now match of the night. Match of the night. I think there's no contest here. But starting off, we had Riddle versus Bobby Lashley, which was hardly a match, but it does make me excited for the future of Bobby because I think he's just dominating all the competition in the United States title scene right now. Unless Damian Priest enters the picture, but I don't think that's going to happen. Then we have Xavier Woods versus Mustafa Ali, which was a fun match. It was fun. Seeing Kofi jump off of T-Bar was fun, but I think this match ultimately had no purpose. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love it. I liked seeing Xavier. Then we had Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. For as unexpected as this match was, this was fantastic. Hurt Business are incredible wrestlers, and Lucha House Party are also incredible wrestlers that I think deserve more than they're getting. I think they're finally starting to, considering that they're basically, they're pulling double duty right now, both NXT and Raw, and I think that's ultimately going to pay off in the long run for them. And this match was just a banger. You had great wrestling, but you also had great storytelling. Again, with the Hurt Business, MVP trying to whip Cedric and Shelton into shape, and Shelton taking that last tag in, just to rub it in. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. And then we have Elias versus Jeff Hardy and then we had Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Lana and Naomi. It wasn't bad, but it was not good. Not good. I love most of the people in this match. Like, I love Charlotte, love Asuka, love Mandy, love Lana, love Naomi. I guess the only one I don't love is Dana. Want to love Dana after what we've seen of her. It's so hard. But yeah, this match just like it. The only way I can just sum it up is it's not good. Ric Flair showing up ruined the whole thing, not just in terms of the result, but just the overall quality of the match was just ruined. Yeah, and I feel like Mandy and Dana were just not present at all, skill-wise. Then we had Elias versus Jeff Hardy and Carlito. I only enjoyed this match to watch Carlito just go off today. That was the only reason to watch this. Carlito definitely said, "Hey, I know Jeff Hardy. Let's do a match together." And Vince said, "Okay, let me just throw you with Elias here." And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. And Carlito just looked as amazing as he is jacked. Like, I cannot wait to see more of Carlito in like actual storylines, actual matches with stakes. It'll be great. And then we have Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross in a match I enjoyed purely for the storytelling. Seeing Alexa Bliss transform into the Bliss Cross Bliss was great. And Nikki's reaction to that was just beautiful. I just wish they hadn't just pulled Nikki Cross out of nowhere to just have a match with Alexa Bliss. It's fine if we've been seeing Nikki Cross consistently, but she's just been nowhere. She's been buried this whole time. Not even on main event. It makes me so upset. But as far as like actual wrestling goes, I enjoyed watching Alexa Bliss wrestle. Nikki was also pretty good, but not as good and psychopath as we've normally seen Nikki.
The thing that annoys me is that like they've really abandoned the Nikki and Alexa like storyline, which I think we needed for closure.
Yeah.
And Nikki does a really good job of just being like, "You were my best friend, and now what the fuck are you?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's never utilized.
We never got Nikki giving up on the friendship and just trying to punch some sense into Alexa. We never got that phase of grief, that stage of grief. But, yeah. And I also fucking hate her new walkout. Nikki Cross's new walkout is awful. It doesn't match her whatsoever. I want her psychopath walkout back.
Yeah. I think it's just because like they don't care.
Yeah.
About her at all.
I could see that. And then we have Randy Orton versus Edge in a good match. I'm glad it actually had a somewhat clean finish, although the Alexa Bliss distraction was a little bit cheap. It does really make me wonder what's going on. I threw out this theory while we were watching it that like Alexa Bliss is kind of haunting Randy now, like not actually there in a physical sense, but just haunting him. Not gonna happen because the commentators acknowledged her being there. But I can dream. I can dream of actually really good writing from WWE and like psychological stuff, but no.
But they won't.
Yeah,
and it's annoying that they won't, because it's like, okay, well, if Bliss just bops into an existence and bops out of existence, it would be so much cooler if they were like, well, it's all in Randy's head. And then I'd have more questions about why is a grown woman acting like a 2-year-old in Randy's head. But besides that, that would be cooler, I guess.
I wouldn't say, like, my whole thing wasn't she's been in his head the whole time, but just recently.
In these moments.
Yeah, in these moments, he just sees her.
And that would be great, because it's just like, it'd be so much cooler if Tom Phillips was just like, and Randy just checked the fuck out there. We don't know what the hell happened. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Especially because Bliss does just kind of like snap in and out. And it's like, well, if she suddenly can vanish with superhuman speed, then let's make her in this moment not human.
Or if we had like one match where he just flips shit for no reason and there's literally nothing in the ring, and then the next match he flips shit again and we pan over to see Alexa Bliss sitting on the corner post. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
But alas, that's not what we're gonna get. But picking tonight's match of the night. Again, there's no contest. My pick is absolutely the Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. This match fucked in every way imaginable.
Yeah. I guess I didn't need my opinion tonight. Glad I got it back, but this was the only match that like really, and I kind of gauge it with like how like I feel about like NXT matches, because with NXT matches it's like constantly a battle between me taking my notes and me watching the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And stop that. It's not often that I get that on the main roster, and tonight with this match, that's exactly what I got.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually a sign of a really good match where I'm just like, oh fuck, I took 0 notes on this.
Yeah.
I agree.
I hope we get more of this, but not so much that it becomes Street Profits versus Angel and Andrade.
I think the one thing that tonight's episode had was a lot of promise.
Yeah.
And that's not something that we've had from Raw in a while, especially because now we also know, we got Angel Garza on the back burner. We've got probably Andrade on the back burner. What I'm saying more so is that, like, these are people that could also come back and really liven shit up.
Peyton Royce.
It's almost cool. Let's not talk about that. It's almost cool that, like, you're getting too much talent, I guess. I'm excited. Tonight made me excited for future Raw episodes, and I've not been excited for future Raw episodes in a very long time.
Yeah.
A painfully long time.
Yeah, I agree. So to run it back, our promo of the night, Miz TV with Bad Bunny, Wrestler of the Night, Grand Metalik, our match of the night, Lucha House Party versus the Hurt Business. Liz, would you like to close us out?
I would. If you joined us tonight, thank you so much. Thank you also to Morgan's Miss for joining us. We love having people in the chat, especially people that make it super fun, which you have made tonight's episode very fun for us. So it's nice to have the additional comments, and that's, even though I can't see them, Mark can. So I really appreciate you joining us tonight. If anybody else joined us tonight and was not in the chat, thank you also. And if you... Ma'am?
What's going on?
I felt 2 paws on my leg, and I heard her using her paws to scratch at the wall. Anyways, if you joined us in the future, thank you so much. Happy almost Valentine's Day. If you need a Valentine, I'll be your Valentine. No worries. just let me know. And happy, maybe if you have it, President's Day, because I have President's Day off, so I'm getting trashed. No, I'm not. It's NXT TakeOver. I probably won't get trashed. I'll just have a really good fucking night.
No, President's Day is not TakeOver.
No, President's Day is the day after.
Okay.
And I have that day off from work.
Gotcha.
So maybe I will get trashed. Who's to say? Anyways.
But it's also Raw.
Maybe we'll have Backlash Part 2.
Yeah, we got Raw.
Remember what I just said about being excited for future Raw episodes? Not like that. Not like that. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, please join us for Wednesday night NXT post show. It is usually our best post show in my personal opinion because NXT is the best fucking brand. Sorry. Yeah, we'll be back for Wednesday, bright and early, 10:20-ish p.m. if all goes well. So yeah, thank you for joining us, and please join us again. That's usually the gist of what I fucking say here.
Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you.
Have hives.
You don't have hives?
I've got hives right now. Hopefully it won't have hives on Wednesday.
Okay. You don't have hives.
I do have hives. The little bumps on my skin that itch. That's what they are. Pete's, do I have hives? Yes, you do. Thanks,
All
Pete's.
right.
She's a doctor.
Thank you all for watching. I'm not going to tell you all to follow and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. I'm not going to tell you that because you don't need me to tell you that. You are a grown adult. You can do whatever you want. Or you're a mature child watching this. I hope you're not. This is not a children's program. And if you're watching this on Twitch and you missed part of it and want to check out previous episodes, our YouTube is The Pinfall Podcast. And follow us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. Our personal Twitters, I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And check out another project of ours, the Universal Pokemon Federation. It's a combination of WWE and Pokemon. Really cool stuff that we're bringing. One of a kind. Definitely go check it out. It's awesome and a blast to work on. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday for NXT. Have a fantastic night. And Morgan's Mist, have fun getting trashed at the holiday that's apparently tomorrow in Brazil.
Is Carnival coming up? Is that... I've seen people on Tumblr posting about it.
Maybe that's what's tomorrow.
I heard that a lot of towns actually are kind of putting it off because of things going on, but if you get to celebrate that, have absolute fun. That sounds fucking sick. Sorry, I don't know why my voice did that. But yeah, have fun, Morgan's Mist.
Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you Wednesday.